For millions of years, our planet has been breathing a slow, rhythmic cycle of ice and warmth, shaping the very course of life. This is the story of how that breath, the Earth's climate, created us. 20,000 years ago, our world was trapped in ice. Glaciers, miles high, covered continents. Our ancestors, small bands of hunter-gatherers, huddled by fires, their world a vast frozen tundra. They were survivors, following the great herds of mammoth and bison, their lives dictated by the rhythm of the ice. But change was coming. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the sun grew stronger. The great ice sheets began to weep, then crack, then retreat. Mighty rivers of meltwater carved new landscapes, and with the thaw came hope. Our ancestors followed the melt, pushing into new territories, their footsteps marking the dawn of a new era. This wasn't just the end of an ice age, it was the beginning of our story. As the ice pulled back, it revealed a world reborn. Over thousands of years, the frozen tundra gave way to lush, green landscapes. The Great Warming had begun. Rivers, swollen with meltwater, nourished sprawling forests and vast grasslands teeming with life. For humanity, this was a time of unprecedented opportunity. We expanded across the globe, our numbers growing, our creativity blossoming. We hunted deer in misty forests, gathered fruits from bountiful trees, and in the quiet of our caves, we began to tell our stories through art, painting the world we saw onto the stone walls. The climate, now warmer and more stable, wasn't just changing the land, it was changing us. It gave us a new idea. Instead of chasing our food, what if we could grow it? This shift sparked the greatest revolution in human history. Around 10,000 years ago, along the fertile banks of rivers like the Tigris, the Nile, and the Indus, we began to settle. We learned to cultivate wild grasses, turning them into wheat and barley. We dug irrigation channels, guiding the life-giving water to our fields. For the first time, we weren't just living in the world, we were actively shaping it. Small villages grew into towns, populations boomed, and the foundations of civilization were laid. All thanks to a climate that finally allowed us to put down roots. But the Earth's breath is not always gentle. Sometimes it is a scorching sigh that can bring empires to their knees. Around 2200 BCE, a devastating drought, lasting for centuries, swept across the globe. This was the 4.2 kiloyear event. The predictable rains that had nourished the first great civilizations suddenly failed. The once fertile lands of Mesopotamia and Egypt turned to dust. Crops withered, rivers shrank, and great cities that had stood for generations were abandoned. People were forced to migrate once more, not in hope, but in desperation, fleeing the harsh sun and searching for water. It was a stark reminder that the very climate that had given birth to civilization could just as easily take it away. While drought devastated some, in other parts of the world, a different climate pattern was creating vibrant new cultures. In South and East Asia, the lifeblood of civilization wasn't a gentle river, but a powerful seasonal rain, the monsoon, for thousands of years. Civilizations like the Indus Valley learned to live in harmony with this dramatic cycle of wet and dry. The annual rains revitalized the land, feeding vast rice paddies and lush jungles. They built their societies around the monsoon's rhythm, embracing its power. The monsoon was more than just weather. It was a force of creation, a balance of life-giving rain and sun that shaped their philosophy, their art, and their entire way of life. The planet's climate is not a simple, linear story. It's punctuated by sudden, violent shocks. Massive volcanic eruptions can throw so much ash into the atmosphere that they block out the sun, triggering years of cold and darkness known as volcanic winters. Imagine the sky turning grey for months, crops failing, and a sudden, bitter cold descending upon the land. Our ancestors faced these shocks time and again. Yet they endured. They adapted. In the darkness, they gathered closer to the fire, shared what little food they had, and innovated new ways to survive. These climate shocks were tests of resilience, proving that even when faced with catastrophe, the human spirit to survive and rebuild is incredibly powerful. After periods of chaos, the climate often settled into long stretches of stability, creating golden ages for humanity. From roughly 1000 BCE to 1400 CE, many parts of the world enjoyed relatively warm, predictable weather. This stability fueled the rise and flourishing of great civilizations. Think of classical Greece, the Roman Empire, the Maya in Central America, and the great dynasties of China. In these golden climates, agriculture thrived, trade expanded across calm seas, and with food security came the luxury of time. Time to build magnificent temples, to write philosophy and poetry, to study the stars. It was an era where humanity and nature seemed to exist in a perfect, harmonious balance. For almost all of our history, we have been shaped by the climate. But in the last 2 centuries, that relationship has been turned on its head. The Industrial Revolution gave us unprecedented power, and we began to shape the climate ourselves. We have built gleaming cities, connected the globe, and achieved wonders our ancestors could never have dreamed of. But this progress has come at a cost. The ice sheets are melting again, not from a natural cycle, but from our own actions. Forests burn, floods and droughts become more extreme. Looking at our planet from space, we see a beautiful, fragile, living world. The story of climate is our story. It has challenged us, nurtured us, and made us who we are. Now, for the first time, we hold the pen. The question is, what will we write for the next chapter? Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through time. If you found this story fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the story of us. We'll see you in the next one.